Hi there, welcome to MTurk Guide. Quickly would like to go over research tasks. This is the hit that I'm speaking of. It should be on the front page for most folks. The qualifications are that you have 5,000 hits completed, 95% approval rating, and you're in the US. So I'd say this is a midpoint for some folks who are trying to get their numbers up. But it's a pretty good hit. This is a good example of a hit that's great for multi-tabbing, meaning having a hit going in like 3 or 4 tabs and then just flipping through them and completing them. And let me explain why. In this hit, you'll either be viewing a picture and answering questions about it, or viewing a caption for a picture with no picture and asking the questions. So I'm going to head and clear my CAPTCHA here. So I'm going to 2 for 1 on that. Clear my caption, accepting a hit. It's 15 cents per hit. So if you've got 4 going in the tab, that's 60 cents, and it's a couple minutes. So it's actually a pretty good rate if you do it that way. And they usually drop hit in groups of about 5,000 or so. So there's usually a lot that you can do the multi-tapping rather than sticking it into the queue. All right, so let me go ahead and mute this tab. And sorry, I'm going to mute this one as well. Sorry, just so you don't have to hear everything in the background. Okay, so now I have a caption and it says a white table with assorted plates of food on it. So now I need to ask questions. So hopefully the other person is on the other end here. Sometimes they're not, but let me ask the question first. How many plates of food are on the table? What happens is that if you or the person on the other end hang out for too long without typing anything, it will stop and it will ask you to quickly either write the remaining number of things to get to 10, just write whatever, or ask questions without getting answers. It's all in the instructions, which I encourage you to read before you start this. So I'm going to continue on. An example of one type of food pictured. Okay, sorry. Oops, that was a horrible typing. So the goal is to get to 10 where you go back and forth with the person, and you can be typing ahead of time or thinking of questions ahead of time. You'll see it says your objective is to ask questions, they'll answer them, get into the fine details of the image, to ask a total of 10 questions. If they disconnect, you continue asking questions, and then I'll be allowed to hit submit the hit. You have to submit it in order to get paid. Okay, so a baked potato, and then it was a white table. So I'm going to ask, is the table white, or is there a tablecloth? I mean, those are the type, as you're sitting here with this caption and you want to try to imagine what the picture is actually of, those are the type of details that, may be important to you. It's important to, if you're running out of things to ask about what's in the background. What else, you'll see probably next, they'll say what else is on the table. So depending on, I'm going to say, is there anything else on the table besides plates? Okay. Sometimes you get people who give you a little goofy answers, or they'll just be goofing around, but they get the job done. So now I can't even begin to hypothesize why researchers would want this type of thing in this volume, but they do. So they do, and we'll do it. I'll gladly do it. But like I said, the other the other side of this is, you have the picture and you simply answer the questions. So I think that's a little easier than coming up with the questions, but a salad plate. Okay. Can you see if the picture is taken indoors? Oof. Oof. Okay. The other reason why I suggest multi-tabbing these is that if you do get someone who's working a little slower, I mean, this person's working at a decent cadence and they also don't know on the other end I'm sitting here doing a webcast. So, if you've got someone who's working a bit slower or is a slow typer or a bad typer like I apparently am, you can move on to the tabs where somebody has answered you. So that's another good reason. And that's a good reason to leave your sound on. That way you'll know when a tab is live with an answer. Okay. The breadbasket is nicely lit. Yeah, see, this person's got humor about it. So I'm going to say, can you see any people in the picture? The other person probably thinks I'm no fun, but like I said, they don't know I'm trying to do a webcast here. So, but yeah, so you want to consider like background as well. Can you see anything in the background? Is the picture taken indoors or outdoors? Can you see any people? Can you see the floor? I mean, you're just trying to put it together in your head as to what this picture might be about. Okay, so that's dipping soup with a ladle. What kind of soup? Now that he told me there's soup, I want to know what kind of soup. Maybe not everybody's thought would go there, but mine did. So now I'm thinking, I'm going to go back a bowl of butter, yellow sauce of butter. Okay. Okay, I'll be goofy. Yum. Any silverware on the table? I mean, again, we're running down to the end here. And you will get to a point where you're kind of running out of questions. A good one is always, is it indoors or outdoors? What's the weather like? Is it day or night? Does this look like a restaurant? So I'm just trying to give you some ideas of the different type of questions that you could ask to get through the exercise. Can you tell if it is day or night in the picture? Oops. Ooh, in the picture. Okay. So there you go. There you have it. Now, once I've hit the 10th one, it'll tell me that I can end the conversation and finish the hit. So I hit the red button and the other person will see that I'm disconnecting, and you can give some feedback on the hit if you'd like. And then other than that, you go ahead and submit the hit and you're done. So as I said, a good one for multi-tabbing. It's for people with 5,000 approved hits and over. So as I said, it's a decent numbers builder, or it's a good one if you're kind of just wanting to sit back and maybe, do something a little bit somewhat mindless. I'd say asking questions is not, but answering questions is. So usually they don't go anywhere near the 30-day auto approval. Usually within a few days they're approved. So hopefully that helps. If it's research tasks is something you've considered doing. Feel free to ask any questions, leave comments, and let me know what you'd like to see. Thanks.